So my parents have this old and pretty outdated house that was built in the 70s, and I just so happened to be an interior designer, and they just so happened to be away for a month. So over this next month, I'm going to completely transform this house, with their permission, of course, on an extremely tight budget. So if you want to see some inexpensive DIY projects and the end results, then make sure you follow along. It is entirely possible to refurnish your entire house without spending a dime. All you have to do is take the items that you already wanted to get rid of and post them on Facebook Marketplace or other local groups. If you check these places often, then you can find amazing things for your own place. We started by selling this old trampoline that we had for just $100. And with that money, we were able to purchase everything pictured in this video. Stay tuned for more. I've gotten some questions about what design style I'm doing for the makeover, so I decided to make some quick mood boards. As you could see in those clips, my parents clearly like black furniture, so I'm going to modernize some of what they already have by replacing beige tones with white. These mood boards are not exact, but they're just a little bit of style inspiration so you can see inside my brain better. I'm also geeking out because I found these really great cabinet pulls on Amazon for literally only $1 each, and I cannot wait to redo these cabinets. Yes, it is an upside down and falling into the wall Christmas tree. They didn't feel like taking it down, so they decided to decorate it for different holidays. Here is a video of me taking it down, but I can guarantee you it's going to be right back up there next holiday season, so. I wanted to post this process footage even though it's kind of scary, because I think it's really important to understand that in order to get to that final outcome, you really need to clean all of the mess that exists underneath. This is the result of pulling everything out of all the shelves and closets and other areas, some of which that haven't been touched in about 20 years. We're hoping that the purge will end within the next few days so that we can do all the fun stuff. So I'm not sure if anyone else's house has this, but my house had an addition made to it way back when that led to a window being in the middle of the house. And I really wanted to open up this space because my parents love to have guests over, but taking down this wall was just not in the budget. So I thought that a great way to open up this space and create a better conversation between the two rooms would be to pop out the window and use that existing architecture to put a bar in. My next video, which is up now, will show more about the process. To open up the space even more, we decided to take down the door as well. This also makes it so that when you're standing at the front door, you can see straight through all of the rooms. We then were able to find some really inexpensive pine wood that kind of looks like butcher blocks to use as the bar. Once the trim is painted, we can stain it and install. It is finally time to remove the wallpaper strip. I hope you're ready for some satisfying clips. We started by peeling off the top layer of the wallpaper. We then got this water sprayer from Walmart for under $7, and we filled it with hot water to spray down the wallpaper backing. Once it was wet, it was super easy to just scrape off. It would probably be even easier if you had a bigger scraper than we did. Now that it's all gone, we are one step closer to painting. Make sure to stay tuned for more. We are now prepping to paint, and I found this tub of spackle at Walmart for only $8. And this brand we found is really great because it can fill drywall, wood, and metal, so we can basically use it for everything. It is time consuming to find and fill every little bump and hole, but it makes a huge difference when you go to paint. The next video up now has some progress shots. So this is what our dining room looked like, and this room in here is what we like to call the dance room, and it used to be where me and my sisters would dance when we were younger, but now it has become a junk room. This room had to be cleaned out if we wanted to do any new designs. So here is a progress shot of where we are now. We took out the window and the door, and we filled all the different holes with spackle. We took most of the junk that was just not being used, and we sold it and used that money to buy some new furniture. Stay tuned for more. It is time to paint the house room by room, and we decided to start with the dining room. We dusted off any cobwebs and sanded down all of the spackle to make it flat. We then cleaned the walls with a wet cloth and removed any light switch covers. If you are doing this on your own, use frog tape instead of blue tape. You'll thank me later. My next video up now shows more of the painting process. Painting your walls white can help with light reflection throughout the space, which can make small rooms like my house has feel a lot bigger. We started painting with this paint sprayer that I got off Amazon, and I really recommend it, but we decided to switch to rollers halfway through because it was making a little bit too many fumes and we're going to save it for cabinets outside. If you're on a budget, try using tablecloths from the dollar store as your drop cloths. Also make sure to keep your furry friends away and don't let them evaluate your design until the paint is dry and fumes subside. Stay tuned for more. So while I was inside painting away all day, Dylan got started on a new project. This room that we cleaned out has sliding doors that lead to the outside. So I wanted to create a little outdoor area where my parents could grill, hang out, and do things that isn't in our driveway. We found these pressure-treated wood shoring blocks on Facebook Marketplace for free and decided to use them as a little outdoor area. My next video that is up now will go more into the process of how this is done. So after Dylan was done laying out the wood blocks for size, he wet them and sprayed them down with a treatment that would reduce their gray tone. He then washed them off, and while they were drying, he decided to clear the moss off the roof because it was very unkept. Here you can see him starting to dig a hole where we will set the wood blocks into the ground so they are flush with the surface. In the end, we will have a little porch that was basically free. There's still a lot to do for this when it comes to prepping the ground and the wood blocks, so make sure to stay tuned for more updates. Welcome back to redesigning my parents' house while they're away for a month. Since my last update, the kitchen backsplash that I ordered from Amazon came in the mail, and I'm so excited, and we did some pretty gross cleaning. I found these smooth pebbles on Facebook Marketplace, so I decided we should add a path to our new little mini DIY porch, so that's what Dylan has been working on. My next video, which is up now, shows what I've been doing inside. Welcome back to redesigning my parents' house while they're away for a month. I've been doing a whole lot of painting and it is very time consuming. A ton of you guys have been asking for more in-depth tutorials and I totally hear you, so I made a YouTube channel. The link is in my bio, so make sure to go subscribe if you want to see some more house stuff. Also, I'm about to paint this hallway and I want you guys to help me decide what to do with it. I'm thinking about either doing black accent wall on the left or black doors on the right. I put a poll up on my Instagram, which is linked in my bio, so if you guys want to help make the decision, then go vote. Hey guys, welcome back to redesigning my parents' house. Today I was inspired to rethink our fireplace. These Pinterest photos got me thinking that I wanted to try making my own built-in for inexpensive. Not only would they elevate the space, but they would also prevent this. So I hopped on Facebook Marketplace to find a base for the project and I found this Solid Oak Entertainment Center. I'm thinking that this will be one of my first YouTube videos because it's going to be very intense, so make sure to go subscribe for that. And next part is up. Welcome back to redesigning my parents' house while they're away. And you guys voted and the barn door won, but barely. It was so close. But don't worry, I'll do more polls in the future, so go follow. Also exciting news, we are getting new flooring. With all of the selling that we've been doing, we were able to make it happen, and this flooring we can install ourselves, so stay tuned for that. So today for my parents' house, I wanted to take this overstuffed and unused china cabinet and turn it into this functional bar. This shelving unit is what they were previously using as their bar, but I felt like the china cabinet had a lot more potential. It just needed a lot of cleaning. So I cleaned it off and I moved it from the kitchen to the dining room. Once it was sanitized, I removed the cabinet doors on the top and the outdated knobs on the bottom, and then I sanded it and painted it white to match the walls. I decided to paint the inside of the bar black because it would add some good depth and it would also make the old-fashioned piece feel a lot more modern. Here it is after one coat and then 2 coats of black paint. And of course I had to include some satisfying frog tape clips. Then I got a new bulb for the inside since the old one didn't work. For the shelves, I didn't want to just put the glass sheets back in because I wanted it to feel more heavy duty. So I traced the shelves onto some heavy duty plywood and cut and sanded them, and this is getting too long, so next part is up. And we're back with part 2 of making a bar for my parents. So here I am painting the inner shelf black. And then I just put some of the cabinet pulls that we're going to be using in the kitchen on the bottom of the unit. I decided to attach one of these wire glass holders to the bottom of the shelf because my dad had one lying around. And then I added the glass for more stability. And then this is what it looks like. Knowing my parents, this will probably be their favorite part of the house because they love their bar. So today for my parents' house while I was working inside, Dylan got to work some more on the porch. If you're interested in seeing how we started off with the porch, make sure to go watch part 1 and part 2, which are labeled on my page. Here you can see him individually leveling the ground underneath every single wood block and laying out some weed cloth. This part definitely took the longest out of everything because not every block was perfectly the same. Then we just got some siding from Lowe's and drilled it together for some added stability and a cleaner look. To really seal it off, we added some concrete around the outside and in any of the cracks. Then it was time to stain it, and we used this one that protects from the sun and water damage so that it would really last a long time and stand against the weather. Then we just poured sand all over the top to make sure that every single little crack was filled, and as you can see here, we actually ran out, so we're going to get some more in the morning. But this is what it ended up looking like, so tomorrow we're going to add all the rocks and I'm going to decorate it and we'll post a final reveal, which I'm so excited about, so stay tuned. Alright you guys, this is my favorite TikTok ever for my parents' house. We finished off the porch today by putting some pebbles around it, we shaved down the sides to avoid tripping, and we added a mini garden. Outdoor tables are literally so expensive, so I went on Facebook Marketplace and I found this stump for free, and all we had to do was just sand it down, and then we covered it with some of this polyurethane to make sure that it was ready to go for any weather. After we were done with this, we took a fire pit that we got for free off Facebook Marketplace, sanded it down, and then covered it with some of this high heat spray to give it a cleaner look. So here is a reminder of what our yard looked like before we started, and here is the finished porch. It is so fitting that this was done on Father's Day because I know that it's going to be my dad's favorite new hangout spot, and I'm so excited to see his reaction because I love him so much. I hope you all had a great Father's Day, and I just uploaded my first YouTube video. It's a Q&A, so make sure to go check it out. Welcome back to redesigning my parents' house while they're away for a month. Today we finished the bar, so if you're interested in seeing more about the process, make sure to go check out part 1 and part 2, which are labeled on my page. As you could see in these clips, after we took out the window, there were some rough spots on the side, so we took some plywood to cover it up. We cut the bottom of the plywood to have the strange angled shape that the window had to make sure that it fit perfectly, and it actually ended up working very well. We also cut this piece of wood with an angle to put onto that slant so that when we put the bar top on, it would sit flat. We secured it with some wood glue and clamps and let it dry overnight. Then we painted the trim all around where the window used to be black just to make the bar top really stand out and to make it a statement moment. Then we started working on the bar top itself, so we glued the wood pieces together, and we also decided to add an extra piece of plywood to the bottom for extra security. Next part uploaded right after this will show the final reveal. Alright you guys, so next for the bar top we stained it. I do not recommend this stain at all if you're using the same type of wood that we did. It might not necessarily look like it on camera, but in person it came out looking exactly like a Cheeto. So I got this color wash from Lowe's that had a blue tone to it, and we used that to tone down the orange. And thankfully this actually worked really well, and it made the wood the perfect tone that we needed to go with everything else we have. And this is what it looked like after the toning. And then we just covered it with this gloss to make it more durable and to give it that bar top look. Then we fitted into the hole on top of some wood glue and secured it on the bottom with some brackets. And then because of the window trim, we had to add some extra wood supports to make it tall enough. So here is what the space used to look like, and here is the finished bar. Obviously the space around it needs some more paint touch-ups, but I'm really excited about how the bar turned out, and I think that it really connects the two spaces. Welcome back to redesigning my parents' house while they're away for a month. Today we did a bunch of different random things, and one of the things that we did was start to remove some of the existing flooring so that we can be ready when our new flooring comes in. That included starting to remove the raised tap floor that my dad put in for us when we were little, and look at that carpet. Then we started doing some work on the kitchen cabinets to prepare them for painting, so here you can see me removing them and removing any of the handles, and they are in bad shape. These things have years of grime on them and needed to be stripped badly. So we got some stripper from Lowe's, and we used that to help us remove some of the shiny coat on top of it and also any other dirt. Here's your warning, this is going to get gross. So this is what it looked like when we started stripping it. As you can see, there was a lot that needed to come off, and we have barely even touched the surface. There is a lot more to do to prep these kitchen cabinets for painting, but look at how much stuff came off of literally just one cabinet front. Hey guys, so today for my parents' house we were working on ripping up the flooring to prepare for our new flooring, and this is no easy job, so we had to call in some backup family members to help. But this is what the concrete looks like after you rip up the linoleum, and there's this thick layer of adhesive on it that we have to get rid of. We started by trying this adhesive remover and then scraping off the glue, but that did not work and we stayed up all night working on it. So I decided to give in and I rented one of these heavy-duty electric sanders that are meant for concrete. And as you can see, it's working very well, but I only have 24 hours with it, so we're probably going to be up all night removing the rest of the adhesive from the bottom floor of the house, but I think it will be worth it in the end. So this is what the concrete looks like after we're done with it. It's ready to go for our new vinyl, and at least the carpet is a lot easier to remove. As you can see here, there's barely any adhesive. Hey guys, I just wanted to make a quick little update about my parents' house, even though it's late, just so you guys could know where we're at. Thankfully, we were able to get up all of the adhesive with the sander that I rented, so that's really great. There are a few places that we'll probably have to hit with a hand sander, and we do still need to remove the carpet that was underneath the old dance room flooring. But it seems like it will be easy enough, and we went and picked up our new flooring as well, and I also scheduled a friend to come help with kitchen plumbing. But anyways, back to some house updates. So here's me removing the Tinkerbell outlet and light switch covers. I figured you guys would want to see this since there was a lot of comments about it. And now for some flooring updates. First we started by filling in any holes in the concrete and then making sure that the subfloor was level. This is super important because if the ground underneath your tile flooring is not level, then the corners will start to pop up. We got lucky today and the room that we were working on did have a level subfloor, but we'll probably have to use some self-leveling concrete in some of the other rooms in the house. Then we just cut away a thin layer at the bottom of the wall base. This made it so that we could tuck the tile underneath and really make it more polished. It's important to use an adhesive that is waterproofing like this one, and my next update will be uploaded right after this one. And we're back with redesigning my parents' house. So here we are putting some adhesive down on the flooring for the tiles. I personally think it looks really satisfying. I don't know about anyone else. We also were lucky because we didn't have to add any additional padding underneath our flooring because it felt nice enough without it, and because our previous flooring did not have any underneath. After sliding the edge pieces underneath the wall base, we then started hammering the pieces onto the glue to make sure that it was extra secure. And while this was all happening, I was doing some painting in that room with the Tinkerbell lights, so here's one coat and then 2 coats of paint. A cool tip is to use a paint guard instead of having to put tape everywhere. I'm not sponsored or anything, but I really like using them. We also brought the shelving units inside so I can start measuring for the custom built-in. Hey guys, welcome back to redesigning my parents' house. One of the things that I've been working on recently is the custom built-in for the living room. I found these shelving units that were the same size from Facebook Marketplace for free. So I ended up choosing to remove the cabinet doors from one of them so that they would match better, and then I took off any added ornamentation so that all of the shelves would match. After sanding it, I then started painting the base of it, and then I brought the shelves individually outside. I used my paint sprayer to paint all of the shelves because it makes it a whole lot faster and it gives a much better result as well. And of course, it's very satisfying to watch. I also went and picked up some extra wood pieces that I'm going to use to make the shelving units look like a custom built-in, and I'll show that in another video later on. My next video, uploaded right after this one, will show a little bit of the process of making the kitchen counter that we are doing on our own. I just wanted to say thank you so much for 2 million followers. You guys are literally so sweet and this is insane. The kitchen sink in my parents' house was in really bad shape and we needed to get rid of it, but it was connected to the countertop, so we knew that we had to find a way to replace it. However, to replace the countertop with any sort of solid surface would have costed over $1,000. So we went to Lowe's and we picked up some white fir wood, we made the edges straight and then glued them together. Buying enough wood to cover the entire kitchen ended up costing us around $80 total. Here you can see us cutting down the countertop pieces to size after gluing them together. Shout out to Dylan's dad David for helping us with this since we're in a time crunch. Once we got our pieces cut to size, we laid out where the kitchen sink was going to go and started to cut a hole for that. After we cut the hole for the sink and the faucet tonight, we'll have to sand the wood, stain it, and then use some resin on top of it to make sure that it's ready to go for any sort of wear and tear. Make sure to stay tuned to see the finished product. Hi, my name's Emily, and this is what my parents' house has looked like for probably the past 20 years. The house is very stressful for them because they've never really had the time or money to put much into it. And I'm an interior designer and they're away for the month, so I decided that it's time to tackle the job on an extreme budget and mostly as a surprise. We are about 3/4 of the way through, so here's a little bit of what me and my boyfriend have been doing so far. We've sold a lot of items to raise some money, I've done some painting, and I converted this china cabinet into a bar. I also got these shelves for free that I'm going to turn into a custom built-in. We made them a custom porch for almost free so that they can hang out outside more. We also converted a random window that was in the house into a bar. We've started working on the cabinets to prepare them for painting. We've removed all of the flooring and the glue underneath and started prepping for new flooring. And now we are working on a custom kitchen. Stay tuned to see their reactions.